So welcome to another episode of Fit Talk with Coach Luis. Today we are here with Sarah.
You should leave that in there.
I told you I get nervous. Sorry.
That's so funny.
Sorry, not Sarah. Okay, here we go. Today we are here with another... Son of a bitch. No, it's gonna not end.
You're so fun. I'm gonna leave this going. This is hilarious.
Okay, so you see...
Bloopers.
Yes, exactly. Gag reel, bloopers, behind the scenes. Jesus. So, okay. Here we go. So, thank you all for joining us again in Fit Talk with Coach Luis. Today, we are here interviewing with Ashley. Yeah. And we are here at the owner. She's the owner of Champion Wellness Centers of Valrico in Valrico, Florida. Mm-hmm. And what does Valrico stand for?
Valrico actually means land of the riches in Spanish.
Awesome. I love it.
I learned that when I moved in here.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
Very nice.
Pretty cool.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah,
I'm very
thanks
excited.
for coming.
Oh, of course. It's my pleasure. And yeah, I'm really happy to be here so we can actually talk a little bit more about you, your journey, what got you here, and you know what it is that you're doing and your purpose for all of this.
For sure.
Yeah, so what is it that you feel that drove you into being healthy and into fitness?
Honestly, I did sports since I was like 5.
Okay.
My dad went to college for football. My mom did 2 sports in high school, and they actually had me really young, at 19. So my dad had to drop out of college. My mom was getting her associates in something with financing, but they both quit school to take care of me. Yeah. So when I started getting older and I started saying that I wanted to, be more active, my parents immediately put me in sports. I actually asked my dad if I could do dancing first. Yeah. I was like, Dad, I want to dance, because all of my friends that were younger were in like these dance classes and stuff, and they put me in like tap dancing, and I did some ballet stuff, and we actually lived way up in Eagle River, Wisconsin, which was where I'm from. Yeah. I'm from Hartford, Wisconsin, but Eagle River is like 4.5 hours north, but it's super cold. So cold, ice skating was a huge thing. And they put me in ice skating and all that stuff. But when I got to finally be able to play like competitive sports, my dad was like, "No, you're going to play normal sports." And I was like, "But I want to dance." So we had this thing, and I was like, "Fine, I'll just play sports." So, and looking back then, it's really funny because when I go all into stuff, like I go all in. So when they said they were going to make me do sports, I did every sport. I feel like, yeah. Like I did gymnastics when I was little. I did middle school, I did track. High school, when I got to high school, I did cross country all 4 years. I did basketball all 4 years, and I did soccer. And I believe the last year of high school, I did track. So, yeah, so my parents were super busy, yeah. So I just have, like, this competitive nature that I don't really know how to get rid of, and which is fine. It drives me to become who I am and, what I am, which owning a business is competitive in itself because you're competing with other people, and in your profession, essentially, you're not really competing with them per se, but everything is a competition really in anything in your life. So that's pretty much how I got into sports, and I just kept it with me because of how it made me feel. Yeah. I just loved competing. I liked the ups and the downs. I liked the good with the bad because that's how life is too. So it's just good to have some sort of a hobby. It doesn't have to be super competitive fitness. It could be anything, knitting, whatever.
It's very true. Yeah, no matter what it is.
It doesn't have to be. Being healthy doesn't mean you have to compete, or you don't have to do active things. It's just more so being more mobile. Really.
Exactly.
Yeah, moving around and doing stuff. So yeah, but that's how I got into fitness, and then I got into extreme fitness stuff. Like I was in chiropractic school, and I was so stressed out. Like I actually put a lot of my fitness on hold. I didn't really work out for like a year and a half. Chiropractic school is insane. So you're doing like 33 to 36 credit hours in 3 months all year round.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's a lot.
And not only is it a lot, but like you have, certain things you have to learn, like documentation. People can sue you, malpractice, so like you have to pay attention. This isn't just, liberal arts class where you can fall asleep and not pay attention and not stress out about it until you have an exam.
Yes.
This is people's lives are in your hands, so you have to pay attention. And the board exams are insane, so it took me forever to get back into the fitness realm, but I started running marathons because I go from 0 to 100 real quick. And not only did I run marathons, but I ran 3 in a year, and I became so skinny I hated it. I didn't have my stronger physique that I usually had, because with soccer comes soccer legs,
Yes.
With that comes a nice bubble butt and genetics. I always had one, and it went away when I ran, and I didn't like it. So I was like, screw running. I want my curves back. So then I started, my girlfriend Liz, Tamia, got me into CrossFit.
Okay.
Went 0 to 100 with that really quick too. I just liked the way that made me feel, this short burst of energy with implementing the Olympic style weights, which I loved.
Yeah.
I loved the Olympic lifting, like the snatches and the clean and jerks.
I love that.
Like the explosive power made me feel so strong.
Yeah.
And I got up to like 170 with the clean and jerk, and my max snatch I think was like 140.
Nice.
So that's where I really started to realize my strength. Like my deadlift was like I could do like 250, 275 for
Nice.
3. So I was like, okay, like I'm kind of strong. This is kind of cool. And then after chiropractic school, I just didn't really want to do CrossFit anymore. Mm-hmm. I got to a point where I could have really tried hard to train to make it to regionals in CrossFit. Yeah. But I was like, that's just so much time. I want a recreational sport where I don't have to put so much time in during the day. So then I did bodybuilding, which is another extreme sport. And I did figure. I did that for a couple years. And after that, I got burned out with that. And I actually, in the midst of all that, I moved here to Florida. And then I met a girl named Sarah, and she actually got me into powerlifting. And that's where I really found where my strength just was. Yeah. Like, I just felt like, okay, this is actually a sport where I spend a couple hours in the gym, but it's not like stressful cardio and stuff. Like, I take a lot of breaks during my sets because you have to with powerlifting, so it takes a little bit, especially during prep. But yeah, so here I am. I finally found a sport that I feel like I can actually manage with opening a practice and my time. And my boyfriend understands because he's a powerlifter, so he's not taking my time away from that.
That helps a lot. That helps a lot when you have a person that's in the same mindset, especially with that. Because like you said, powerlifting is, any type of training is very time consuming. But when you're with another person that actually is on the same page, makes it a lot easier where you can actually work out together and do all those things together. So.
And if I have to tell anyone listening, people always told me growing up I changed my mind a lot. Like, Ashley, you're really like floaty. Like you're here and you're there and you don't really commit yourself to anything. And I was like, you're wrong. Like, when I commit myself, I go all in. I'm either all in or I'm all out. Like, I'll go, I love marathons. I'm an advocate of marathons. Do this. You need to run more. And then screw marathons. F that. Don't run anymore. Like, it's like when I listen to myself talk, it's almost like I'm trying to like persuade people because I'm so passionate about whatever I do. I'm all in. So I don't think that changing your mind is a bad thing. I think if you change your mind a lot and you can't commit yourself to something is a bad thing. But if you can really change your mind and you can really go all in and go all out, people just aren't used to that. I think they're not used to so much change and someone being so up and down with something. But that's just how I am, and I just accepted it. So I just started running with it. And anyone who didn't really understand, I didn't really take the time to explain, because you don't really have to explain yourself to people. I started to get really annoyed with that. Like, Ashley, why are you like that? Well, why are you like that? I don't understand why you're the way you are, but I'm not sitting here questioning you about it. Exactly. Everyone's different, you know?
Everyone is different.
But the people that are more extreme, people tend to look at it a little bit differently because there's not a lot of those people out there, I think.
And it's not as accepted.
Yeah, and people are just so okay with being secure and uncomfortable, being comfortable being uncomfortable.
Right.
And that's just not me. And even growing up, like, I always headbutted my parents all the time. Because talk about security, they had to drop out of college and they had to start supporting themselves with a new baby at 19, so all they know is security.
Right.
And my mom actually, at the age of 50, opened up her own accounting business. It took her a while to learn more about accounting and stuff. She never went back there for her college degree, so she was always on the fence. But like me in my life, my mom, growing up, I mean, she honestly didn't have the best self-esteem, and we can get to that later, but she really had to watch herself grow as a person and as a woman in society.
Right.
Because when my parents started working, my mom actually started working for my dad's company, which was my dad's company.
Okay.
And she started, that was her first step into finances. She did payroll.
Yeah.
My grandpa paid my mom to do payroll, and then my mom quit there and started at a different job at an accounting firm. She worked there for 15 to 16 years. She started really realizing her people skills with people, and people loved her, and people resonated really good with her. And she just loved her job, and because it was a people job.
Yeah.
You know, like kind of like what you're doing and what I do with chiropractic. Like, you meet different people and you like being around people. So my mom just started really learning what she really liked in life, and she just started taking off in this firm. She went from just being payroll to having more responsibilities, because my mom's great with that. She's really good with time management. She likes pressure.
Yeah.
And so she started moving up, and then she started noticing her boss not being a very, and he wasn't very, like, a man of his integrity. And she started realizing that. So people started complaining to my mom about Scott, her boss. So my mom started realizing, like, hey, these people are, like, really trusting me. Could I start my own business in this, not even having a college degree in it, but maybe hiring a CPA to help back her up? And that's exactly what she did at the age of 50. So my mom is a huge inspiration for me, because if she can do it at 50, I feel like I can do it. And not only that, but, like, she's my accountant for my business. So it worked out really well.
That's really good.
But, like, seeing my mom just become, like, this woman in life, pretty much, was pretty much
self-made.
Yeah.
Self-made woman.
Yeah.
You know, she really fought for what she wanted to do, and she did it.
Yep.
And that's good.
Yeah.
And that's where you get it from.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Like, that's your reason for being in where you are now.
Yep.
You know, like, you didn't want to have that what if mindset. Like, you want to go for it, and you go for it, and then you know, okay, you know what, this isn't for me. I'm gonna do something else.
Exactly.
But if you don't at least try it, you'll never know. And
even
then you'll
my mom
always
was like,
have that
Ashley,
mentality.
it's not going to look good on your resume having 30 different jobs. Well, at least the 30 different jobs never have a gap in my life. It's like April 2013, started a new job. December 2013. Ashley, why are they so close together? I didn't like my job.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't that bad, but I've had almost every job you can think of, honestly.
Yeah.
From service industry, bartender, waitress. I worked in the car dealership for like 2 months. After I graduated chiropractic school, we can get into that later, but just not being like back in my heyday, I was just never really satisfied with what the jobs were giving me. It took me a while, honestly, to realize how special of a gift that chiropractic gives people.
Yeah.
Because I was just looking at it as a money standpoint. Because that's all that, you know, college ever teaches you, or life teaches you. You need to make money, you need to do this, and that. Yes. They don't teach you about passion.
Sadly,
so I was trying to find my passion again for chiropractic, because I was so burnt out with school and having to find a job for chiropractic and this, and that. And coming out of chiropractic school, I lived in St. Louis. And I just wasn't happy with my associate job there. I wasn't making hardly anything. I was like, Mom, I'm a doctor. Like, how am I only making $30K a year? This is effing insane. I'm not doing chiropractic anymore. If I do, I'm doing it part-time. Then I started doing personal training on the side, and that's where the fitness part comes in.
Yeah.
I've always been fit, so I've always looked the part. So, and then I have the chiropractic knowledge, so people wanted to ask me for my opinions. So then I started charging people for my time.
Yeah. Well, all goes hand in hand. That's good.
Yeah. So then I started realizing I have a more of an entrepreneurial side too. So that's where I started really diving into it. For these personal training packages, I mean, I was, people would pay $50 for a session, compile that into a package. People are paying a lot of money. And I was like, wow, I'm just talking passion to people and they're giving me money.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, okay, my passion's coming back. And then I'm like, I want to open my own practice, but I just don't have the money for it. So compilation of bad relationships and just not being in the right mentality, I'm like, I just need to remove myself from where I am and deposit myself where I feel like I can flourish, which is a beach, palm trees, positive people. And I was like, I love Florida. So I started looking up all these jobs in Florida for associate positions, just to kind of feel the vibe in Florida, if I like it there or not. And then I worked for this guy up in Spring Hill, Florida, and I worked there for about 8 months. Hated him as a person, but I realized in Florida how chiropractic can really flourish with the personal injury, with the insurances, with just being a retired state. You have a lot of snowbirds, which, I mean, people are older, so they need to take care of their backs. But yeah, so then I started applying for different chiropractic jobs, and then that's how I landed meeting these investors for the business that I own now. So they invested in me. There's 3 of them. They'll definitely own a small percentage of my business, which is fine because I had 0 financial debt going into my practice. And they helped me with my marketing ideas. They helped me with a lot of stuff. They networked me with lawyers and people that they know in Florida.
Excellent.
So, and like my mom always told me growing up, like, you can't really do things alone. Like, you always learn from somebody, like you're always, if you have a support group that can get you to where you need to be, like hang out with those people or surround yourself with those people. And I've always had like a mentality where I've always connected more with men's mentalities than women's. Not that it's a bad thing, but like even in 3rd grade, I had guy friends. I didn't have girlfriends. And my dad got a letter from my 3rd grade teacher saying that Ashley has no girlfriends. She just plays with boys in recess. All she does is play tag. She has I always wanted to do guy things because it was fun. Like,
fun.
Yeah, like I wanted to run around and I wanted to exercise, and I just guys' mentalities I just felt like were more fun for me. Like girls were just standing there in little groups talking and being awkward, and I'm like, this is weird. Like, I don't want to be awkward. Like, I want to have fun.
And look, you're still doing that till today.
Yeah.
You're powerlifting.
Right.
I mean, that's a strong
which
sport.
is a male sport, but I mean, there's a lot of female powerlifters taking off right now, which is awesome.
It's amazing.
But
yeah.
I just love being around strong people, and now moving to Florida, there's so many strong women, and I'm meeting so many of them, and we're just building like these awesome relationships. And don't get me wrong, like I have my girlfriends that don't like to lift, and I get along with girls like that now, but growing up I just realized how different I was as a woman, and I embraced it. And my dad and I got into a fight about that stupid letter, and the next day they introduced me to these 2 girls, and I had nothing in common with them at all. But it's just funny, like looking back at how society tries to mold you as a gender, and they don't really like embrace your differences is so annoying.
Which is like you said, that's why some people they frown upon a person, like you said, oh my God, is that going to be okay on your resume type thing?
Yeah.
You're embracing that you're wanting to be more challenged to other things. You're wanting to do something else. You don't want to be okay with just settling for this just because it's secure. You want to go after your passions. So the fact that you did that, now you have your own practice.
Right.
Had you not done any of that, who knows where you'd be right now?
Exactly.
You'd probably be working, like we were talking earlier, you'd be working 50 plus hours every week and miserable as heck. Yeah. And then really knowing that you shot yourself in the foot for not taking that chance.
Right.
Or you'd be starting a few years later what you did now.
Yep.
So the fact that you did what you're doing shows that you are a strong person.
I appreciate that. Thanks.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And
that was kind of a tangent from your question. Sorry.
oh no,
but I told you I talk a lot. So.
This is made to be natural and however it flows. So yes,
Perfect.
it's fantastic. So
All right.
I'm having a fantastic time. So yes. So what do you think? It's like, what's your why? What do you feel is your why for?
Yeah.
In a nutshell, what do you think?
Sure. Well, I have a few whys because I have a few passions in my life. So if we can, I'll start with chiropractic.
Okay.
My why with chiropractic is honestly, growing up, I just always felt like I was a very nurturing person. I always wanted to take care of people. Whether it was if they felt bad and they weren't smiling, I would make them laugh. Or if they were hurting, I'd want to make them feel better, physically. So I actually did, I went to school in undergrad for athletic training. In University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, and I just wasn't resonating with it. I loved the whole being around the sports thing because I always wanted to surround myself with sports because that's just how I was molded into. And I just didn't like how I'm really observant and I just watch people's body languages. A lot of the athletic trainers weren't very truly happy. And I asked them, I was like, what are your pros and cons of your job? Because if I'm going to spend this time with this frickin' education, which was pretty hard, going all the way through the practicals and the high stress, and I'm like, is it even worth it?
Right.
And a lot of them said no. A lot of them were crabby. They were just complainers. Yeah, when you're traveling with sports teams, you're traveling on the weekends if you want to have a family, what kind of stress is that going to bring to the table? And again, that's you on someone else's time, that's not your time.
Exactly.
And I hated that. Growing up, I didn't like being told what to do. And even now, having investors, they guide me and they help me, and I have some guidelines and stuff that I have to give them, but 99% of the things that I do right now are on my time. And I wouldn't have it any other way. No. So my why with chiropractic is just definitely, I just love making people feel better. And I like doing it the natural, more holistic way. Don't get me wrong, I still communicate with the medical world.
Of course.
Gynecologists, primary care doctors, orthopedic surgeons, neurosurgeons. There is a time and a place for that. And I think there's a time and a place for chiropractic that people honestly don't know about.
Yeah, that's very true.
It just, people don't really know what other benefits chiropractic can bring than just getting rid of your neck or back pain, which we can talk about later.
I would love to, because it's true. It's nice to get more of that information out there that people, like you said, just don't know because of what's been wrapped into a bubble of chiropractic, it's okay type thing. Be careful, more of be careful with it because they can either really, and it's not true.
Yeah, and there's way more risks with the medical world with overprescribing things. With oops, I cut an artery and sorry, you're not waking up. You know what I mean? There's a lot of risks on both sides, but just because something's more alternative and questioned and yada yada, the list goes on, people are going to have more stigma towards that than what they know.
It's true.
People will accept someone cutting an artery on accident versus you maybe hurting someone by an adjustment, you know what I'm saying?
Which will get better with time anyways.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's very true.
So so that's my why with chiropractic, and I just changed after I pretty much interviewed other athletic trainers. I instantly changed my major. I talked to my parents because they've always been pretty good with knowing me as a person and giving me ideas and what they think that I would love. Good. And my dad was like, have you ever looked into chiropractic? I feel like you would fit really well with that, with you liking nutrition and being athletic, and you want to help people, so that's a really great way to help people. And I started looking more into it, and I shadowed our chiropractor in Wisconsin and asked how he liked chiropractic, and he loved his profession. He was 65 years old, still doing what he loves and smiling every day. Yeah. And I was like, cool. let's do that. So then I changed my major to kinesiology, and then I graduated there, and then I transferred to St. Louis, the chiropractic college. I had to finish organic chemistry 1 and 2 to get into the program. So I did that in the fall, and then I started chiropractic January of 2010, and then I graduated April 2013.
Nice.
And haven't looked back since. I had ups and downs in my profession of like what I wanted to do, if I really wanted to do it.
Which I think is normal for any type of profession,
right.
anyways. Yeah.
Like someone graduating with a business degree and other an internal or a interior designer or something. Like, who knows? But
Exactly
you know,
right.
it's like people take the time in college maybe to figure out what they want to do, and they just do their generals and instead. But yeah, my why for powerlifting, or my why for being athletic, is I really feel that you growing as a person outside of your career is important, because if you're never stagnant, if you're always moving in a positive or a forward direction in something outside of your career, I feel like would help with your career never being stagnant either. Like I just never am going to accept that I'm as good as I can get.
Exactly.
I firmly believe that you can be better than you were yesterday, as cliche as that sounds.
Yes.
And how many memes you see out there that people post it and they get maybe 10 likes because people are so sick of seeing it. But it's true.
But it's true, though. It doesn't change the fact that it's true.
Yeah.
Better than yesterday, but not as good as tomorrow.
Exactly. And that's like, you know, even if you're taking little baby steps, like, honestly, I'm not going to lie, opening up this practice really showed my anxiety and how severe it is. I opened up this practice on October 15th of 2018, and I moved 2 weeks after that on Halloween weekend. So not only was I trying to open this practice, and now I have to move from Tampa to Valrico in a different townhouse in a different area I wasn't familiar with, farther away from the gym, with me and my cats, and in a different environment, you know? So it's like 2 different fams in 1 month.
And you still had time to make those paintings.
Yeah. And if it wasn't for the paintings, I probably would have had more panic attacks than I did.
Which we'll post those paintings anyway, so people can see what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So that'd be fantastic.
But yeah, so like there's other little things too that I realized I can do, like painting that helps us stress. CBD oil has been a huge thing for me. It really does help. It just makes you more relaxed without the high, and it just makes you calm and not feel like you're freaking crazy for 5 seconds.
And again, that's another thing also that people are like about, versus taking prescription that will give you usually more than not side effects versus something like this is natural. So.
And people don't even know, but you have a whole system in your body called the endocannabinoid system in your body that when you actually if you ingest CBD or if you smoke, you know, the medicinal marijuana, your body actually has receptors for those things to keep your body in balance. All of your systems in balance. When your systems go out of balance is when you start having diseases and problems and inflammation, which inflammation causes almost all the inflammatory diseases out there, obviously. So if you don't have your inflammation in check, or if you don't have your body in balance, you're not only gonna feel mentally crazy, your whole body is just gonna have like a whole I don't even know, a downward spiral of events that people think that are gonna go away with pills.
Right.
And it doesn't go away with pills. It manages what you're in, what state of being you're in that moment. You're not a better person.
Right.
But people don't want to better themselves. They want to mask things so they can go on with their 100% balls to the wall lifestyle.
Right.
But if people want to do that, then they can expect them not to have a very healthy life in their future.
Exactly.
But you have to learn, life is all about managing. Life is about managing your love life, to your career, to your hobbies that you don't want to give up, to everything. Like if you eventually want to have kids are a huge stress. Having animals is a huge stress. Dogs are just like children. But
sometimes even, I wouldn't say worse than a child, because of course you can't compare an animal to a child, but you can at least take a child with you
Exactly.
when you're going to go somewhere versus you
Yep.
can't always take an animal with
Nope.
you. I have a 125-pound Rottweiler.
Yeah.
I can't take him
Oh,
anywhere.
I love Rottweilers. They're so cute, especially as puppies.
Yes, he's like a little tiny black bear. But, I can't take him everywhere
Right.
that I want to. Versus a child, if you had a kid, you could take them anywhere. So
Yep.
it's like you said, everything has its amount of stress no matter
Yep.
what.
Everything is. And I keep going off on tangents, but my why for
You're fine.
powerlifting,
You're
sorry.
fine.
My why for powerlifting, like I said, I just want to always better myself. And now that I just literally found that if I keep taking care of my soft tissue and taking care of my mentality and pushing myself to an extent of not hurting myself and just always being trying to be in a linear progress in powerlifting, which is really hard to do. Because you could get these aches and pains that just won't freaking go away. But if you deload, which means deload means taking 5 days off the gym, just doing lighter weights and not heavy weights, doing the stability postural weights and just letting your nervous system relax. Because you get so much stimulation to your nervous system from your work, from your relationships already. And then you go into a gym and you try to lift 330 pounds and it's like, it's either there or it's not.
That's taxing on the body.
It is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my why is just, I just like seeing my body go through these not only visual changes, but internal changes and embracing my muscle. I always had broader shoulders from gymnastics and bigger legs from soccer. So I've always looked more fit, but I'm okay with that. And you just have to be okay with what literally what the Lord gave you is what they say. And not trying to change anything. Just let your body express what it's made to be and not try to compare yourself with what someone else looks like versus what you look like. Serena Williams.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a big girl. Like, what is she like? I don't even know. I'm not even trying to say how much she weighs. But she looks amazing. Do you want to know why? Because she's confident in her own skin. Yeah. You don't have to be a 120-pound girl with big boobs and a little waist to feel sexy. Right. I'm not saying those people aren't sexy either. But sexiness comes from your confidence. Just and wearing your own skin and being comfortable. Like, I'm just being comfortable knowing that I've just naturally been a stronger girl. Like, I could outbench guys in high school. I was just naturally stronger. I don't know. I was born with more testosterone. I have no idea.
Wrong with that.
But I stopped trying to wonder about it, and I started embracing it. And powerlifting is honestly something that's been expressing my confidence more than ever. Yeah. And with that, it's helped me with my confidence in my practice. Sure. And even my patients are like, wow, you're strong. Like, the guys come in here knowing that they will get a good adjustment, Like
the post you did. It's fantastic to see that.
Yeah, like my boyfriend Jordan, he's 250 pounds of pure brute strength. Yeah. And he's 5'9", little compacted, But I move those bones, like, better than I do on a 120-pound female. Yep. Because I like being able to exert my force on someone that can handle it, I don't like being able to, like, hold myself back on a brittle bone girl, Right. Because I don't want to hurt her. Because some girls are like, oh my God. After I adjust them, I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry, was that too much?
Like, oh gosh, are you okay?
They feel good and they're fine. I'm not breaking anybody, but you know what I mean.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's also another.
But people also come to me because I also have instruments that I use on older people. I don't bring the thunder on everybody. I have to know where my limits are.
Of course, right.
But yeah, I just, like, literally powerlifting is making me stronger to have more stamina to be able to adjust 60 patients a week or 70 patients a week. Like, I'm already at 55 patients a week, which is a lot of walking around and adjusting on people. And it's giving me energy and the muscle endurance to be able to do what I do, too.
And it's making you mentally stronger too. Yeah. On top of all that
exactly.
stuff. It's making you mentally just more focused.
Yeah.
Because a person that's disciplined to do any type of lifting, of course, but powerlifting out of all, it's very disciplined.
It is.
And like you said, then you got to do the deloading.
Yeah. Everything is literally like my coach. I'm so glad I have a coach. I don't know what the hell he's doing, but it's working. Yeah. and I'm just following what he tells me to do, because I just got into powerlifting. Like, I'm just learning all the variations of squats and all these variations of deadlifts and bench, you know. It's like, it's just so cool to just be able to let your body do what you think it can and just don't question it and have the trust in yourself to be able to do it. So that's my why with powerlifting. I just want to just be a better person outside of my career, and powerlifting gives that to me.
That's really good. It gives you that confidence that you exert it, and that's good.
Yep.
You know, to be a person that you have it together mentally, physically, and also.
I want to correct you though. I don't have it together mentally. I just want to be.
Wait, no, you're doing a good job at saying that you are.
I want to be really honest with you. As much as it like might seem like, you know, everyone, like, especially on Facebook or social media, you know, you look at a celebrity and you're like, oh, they got it together. Well, 2 weeks later they commit suicide. Well, I guess they didn't have it all together mentally.
That's very true.
I'm gonna be the first one to say I don't think I'll ever have it together mentally. Yeah. I just know how to manage myself.
Well, yeah, and I mean
that's all that I literally. I'm not gonna sit there and walk out this door and be like, oh well, you know, you'll get there someday. It's like, I don't even want to be that person to like belittle people or talk down to people or to like think that I'm better than anybody, because to me my parents, like, growing up had it together, but growing up and actually learning more about them, they don't have it together. They have it together financially. They still struggle with some mental things, I'm sure, just like everyone else does.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
It just depends on how you manage them and how you approach those issues.
Yep.
That's the key.
Yep.
We all have problems to deal with day in and day out.
Yeah.
Some of us just choose not to give up and give in to them, and some of us choose to just push forward and just go head on and fix it.
Do you know who Tony Robbins is? Tony Robbins.
I should.
Yes, you
Sounds
should.
very familiar.
He's the most positive motivational speaker ever. Do you know what I'm talking about now?
I have to look him up.
He's super tall guy. Do you know who Gary Vee is?
Yes.
Okay. So he's a lot like Gary Vee, but Gary Vee is more on the business side.
Okay.
Tony Robbins is like Gary Vee, but more on like life side.
Okay.
So Gary Vee is very positive. Like, he owns, one of his houses is in Fiji, bought enough acreage to make it into a resort. He has a 30-minute routine every single day. I watched the episode on YouTube. One of his episodes was, you know, like his morning routine. He literally wakes up, does this sauna thing, jumps into a super cold pool thing, then he drinks this adrenal support thing, then he goes and does his gym thing, and then he goes and sings this song in Fiji language to these people that are helping him, like his crew, before he takes off to Australia. Like, this guy has a routine, and he has, like, he doesn't steer from positivity. Like, that dude is all positivity. Yeah. Like, there's still things that I accept in my life that are a little negative, and I feel like it's just inevitable. You know, you're gonna come across negative things. You can't control when negative things come across your path. You just have to know how to manage your feelings of maybe why all of a sudden these insecure mentalities are coming into view now. You know what I'm saying? Like, how people trigger, other people can trigger things from your past that come up into your present moment that you just have to, like, put a wall up and just observe that feeling and then let it go. Yeah. But a lot of people let other people affect them so much negatively, and they stay in it for days.
Yes.
And they don't, or years, or forever, and they don't know how to come out of that mentality, because not only are they afraid to, they don't believe that there's, you know, like, my boyfriend called me an eternal optimist, is what he called me. And I was like, Jordan, I don't need a definition, you know, but, like, I would rather be called that than anything else, because
I'm glad that's what you view me at, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Because people see that I try to see perspectives now more positively, and I don't surround myself in negative environments, or try to even, like, dabble into anything that's gonna literally make me stay here and not here in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Like, I don't want to be next to somebody that's just complaining all the time or, and stuff like that. And I don't even know what the question was on how we got here.
It doesn't mean it's okay. But it's good. This is good. And there was a quote I heard once that...
Oh, you're talking about Tony Robbins. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there was a quote I heard once that said, life is really only... It's 90% of how you react to the 10% of the issues that come up in your life. It's
so true.
Because the issues are going to come up day in and day out.
It's so true.
How you, take those on and how you face those, that's what your life is about.
Yep.
First, are you going to stay there with that negative mindset? Or are you going to just dwell on it, let it feed completely and consume your body? Or are you just going to be like, okay, you know what, fine, this happened, great. Yeah. Great, okay, fine, let's move on.
Yep.
Let's fix it, or let me just cut it out of my life and move forward.
But people like to hold on to...
They do.
Grudges and negativity, and they just want to,
and
look at you.
Negativity feeds off negativity.
Yeah. And the only reason why they're like that, I used to be like that, is because you're just miserable inside. And that's why you can't take that shit personal, because it's not really who you are, it's just a reflection of them.
It is.
And you can't let someone else define you, because only you know who you are, and you can't let someone get you so upset. Because if you let someone control your emotions, you just never have control over anything. Yeah. And that's what happened in literally my whole life until I was 28 years old 3 years ago. I was in and out of these relationships. I always let these guys make me feel a certain way. I never knew my own worth. I was insecure, which made them probably insecure. But, it's a compilation of things. I'm not going to give them all the blame, obviously, for the failures. But, I shouldn't have been with probably 85% of the guys that I ended up with. But I did, because I just never felt like I deserved better. Yeah. Until you finally wake up one day and you're like, Jesus Christ. Like okay, I'm over this now.
What am I doing?
I'm done with my cycles. Like, you start seeing your patterns and cycles in life, and until you start changing your decisions and what maybe you would have picked 5 years ago and pick something different to take you down a different path, like moving to Florida and taking this step into something in the unknown.
Who knows where you'd be right now?
Exactly. Yeah.
But you did it.
Yeah.
That's what matters. Mm-hmm. You're living it. You're living what you love because you took that chance.
Right.
So what is something that you would like to tell whoever's listening right now that you think could really use some type of guidance in that sense?
And in the life sense?
Yeah, what would you like to tell? What's your message you'd like to tell someone that would be listening to this that you think?
I mean, honestly, this is so cliche too. This is another cliche meme. But honestly, just to never give up on yourself, I guess, is a good one.
I agree.
Never just give up hope. That everyone is just so concerned about comparing their lives to other people's and their journey to other people's journey and how they got to where they are to how someone else got to where they are. And I mean, there's times where I remembered, I was not good with finances, and I'm still getting better at it even now. But there was a time in college where I had a credit card for every clothing company. I had them maxed the F out. I would literally rather go out drinking than to pay rent the next day. I'd be like, oh, it's okay if it was 2 weeks late.
Yeah, whatever.
It's okay. I'll come up with the money. I'll wait until they knock on my door to give them the cash, Yep. But it's just because you just don't feel like you deserve to be, to take care of yourself better. And honestly, it comes from your childhood, I'm sure, which mine did, and just not feeling like you're worthy for some reason or whatever that was. But I figured out what that was for me. I read a lot of self-help books, like If It Hurts, It Isn't Love. If It's Broken, It Can Be Healed. Have you ever heard of Osho?
No.
He's he's an old philosophical writer, but he just talks about meditative stuff.
Okay.
He talks about looking more in yourself versus other people for your issues. And he just makes you kind of look into your past and how you bring it into your future, your present moment. So that's how he really, reading him and meeting people that got that mentality and surrounding myself with only that mentality for years.
Yeah.
It really helped me get this, strong mentality to where I'm just never going to give up on myself, and I'm just going to start putting in the effort as much as I put into other people to myself. But yeah, and like I said, there are times where I didn't have a frickin' dollar on me, but I always had a vision of where I wanted to be in life. I would just always, read up on people's struggles, like celebrity struggles, and how they got to where they are today. Mm-hmm. And I started realizing that everyone literally comes from the same place. Yeah. Having nothing, coming into something. And that's only 100% you, and how hard you want to work to get there, and what sacrifices you want to make to get there. And I don't have kids, and I'm not married, but I feel like people use that a lot to be able to stay where they are in life. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of divorces now, and people say it's a bad thing. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. Mm-hmm. I think people are just becoming more aware of their choices and their happiness, and they don't have to stay with something that's not serving them. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. Right. I think it's a shift in our society. The older generations might not think that it's a good thing, but that's their opinion. No one else's opinion should matter except for yourself. Yeah. And sure, the divorce rates are going higher. To me, that's just saying that maybe it's just older people that are becoming and realizing, or it's young people just diving in too soon and realizing that they don't have to be stuck in something either.
Right, or not giving themselves that time that they need to actually get to know that real person. Right. Who knows? There's so many things. It's true. So many things it could be that they're just not giving themselves the actual time, or like you said, too young, and they have no idea what they're doing, and they're like, okay, this was
too soon. I don't even.
So many things that it could be. Who knows? Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, don't give up on yourself. Always have a vision. I always had a vision of myself being very successful because I knew that I had that drive. I just didn't ever put myself in the right environment. So if you feel like you're struggling right now, anyone that's listening, or if you feel like, life is just in shambles, look at it in a positive way. Like, the only way you could go from there is up. But it takes you to realize that, and you have to start putting yourself around people and putting yourself in the environment to make you successful. And honestly, I asked for help along the way. And you can't judge yourself for that. Like, honestly, there was a time where I was in such a financial rut, I had to ask my parents for help. Mm-hmm. And sure, they scolded me and whatever, and I knew I had to listen to it, even though I was pretty much an adult. I just never was responsible in a lot of ways, but I always had a drive, and I always had a work ethic, which comes from sports, which is all that I knew. Right. So I felt like if I wasn't competing, that my work ethic was going to die. And now looking back at that, that's not true. Yeah. I don't need sports, honestly, to make me happy. Like, I have this now for my baby. It's my baby. Like, I'm trying to grow it, It is. So if I injure myself in powerlifting, my life isn't over, Exactly. And I can always go back to that. So I feel like people also not only don't give up on yourself, but don't just sell yourself short to just having one passion. Like, have a few passions.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, have a few things that you like doing, whether it's painting, traveling, hanging out with friends, doing a certain yearly trip together or something. You know what I mean?
That's fantastic. That's really good advice. Yeah. I like that. Because you're doing your powerlifting passion. You're living your dream of owning your own practice. You do your painting. So you have a lot of different things you like to do, and there's nothing wrong with that.
And now, my boyfriend and I just started dating like a month ago, but his goals in powerlifting and my goals in powerlifting are like the same. Like, he wants to break world records, I want to break world records, and that's just gonna help hold each other accountable even more, because accountability is huge,
Exactly. You can feed off each other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's just really having someone around you all the time that just you can tell your goals to, and someone that'll hold you accountable to those goals. Not like as a mom or a dad, but just having like a cheerleader in your corner in case if you're ever down, they just help, bring you back up.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you need a boyfriend or a girlfriend to do that, because I was single for 2 years. I did this without having a boyfriend or a girlfriend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying I'm bisexual. That's not what I meant.
Yeah, let's clear that, because that's part of people think.
I shot myself in the foot with that one. But no, just like knowing that being alone, and I had my own things that drove my own happiness. You don't need anybody to make yourself happy. And that's, I think, what it came down to for me, is that I went from boyfriend to boyfriend to boyfriend. I always thought that I needed somebody to take care of, to make me feel better. It was like I was just filling my own voids for whatever those voids came from, until I started realizing, like, Ashley, you need to start being alone and being happy with yourself and doing your own goals and letting someone see you, from that perspective.
Yes.
And knowing that you can bring that to the table, and your mentality and your strong mentality. Because there's people that I met along the way that I had goals, but I didn't have a lot of other things together, you know, and that drove people away.
Yeah.
So.
And so that's good that you finally, when you learned that you were okay with being alone.
Yes.
And once you're okay with that, then you do become your own person, because you don't have to be with somebody to be quote unquote happy.
Yeah. And no one's dictating your decisions for you.
You're making your own choices. And if I fail or make it, it was on me.
Sitting there in your thoughts, whether they're positive or negative, moving past those negative thoughts, being alone. I'm not lying, the cats definitely helped. But having animals helps, so you don't feel so alone. But yeah, just having a sense of self-awareness, that's something else that Gary Vaynerchuk always dwells on, is just knowing yourself in your entirety and what you're capable of, and maybe what you need more support of from somebody else as a spouse.
Right.
I think it's crazy how people settle. Like, I was always settling, People always settle for what they, like, less from what they deserve.
But that's that destructive mentality, when you don't value yourself.
Yeah. And I was, honestly, when I opened this practice, I was like, I would be totally okay if I was single for years and years and years, because I would rather be a little sad being alone but happy nonetheless, than being with somebody who would literally destroys my mentality, and especially keeping me from being where I want to be. I would rather be alone. Rather. And
then that's when it happens.
Yeah.
When you're not expecting it.
Right.
You meet someone and you're like, it's perfect.
Yep.
Like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
And that's why it happens. Because
but you can't, you always have to have, like, I had standards in my head of, very like, true. The next person of, I want him to support me all around. I want him to be very, positive towards my goals. And I had a list in my head. And
as you should.
Yeah. So, and then along came Jordan. So I even tried to push him away too.
Did you?
I did. Because I didn't feel ready. Because honestly, it was like a little after I opened my practice, and I just used that as an excuse, because that's all it was. I used my practice as a barrier, which was easy to use for me.
Right.
I even changed from 2 months ago. Do you listen to how I'm talking? I just changed as a person 2 months ago, because I realized I was giving myself a barrier to accept love from someone else. And I was trying to shoo it away. I literally felt like it was too good and I didn't deserve it again. Yeah. But I was like, Ashley, this is what you've been looking for. Like, this is what you've been looking for.
And you're probably like, no, this is probably too good to be true.
Yeah.
No, this is
not only that, but it's too good to be true, because he's so freaking strong. Not only mentally, but physically. Like, and he, like, motivates me and inspires me to be strong in the gym. And he, like, I was talking to you before we started recording, but he's a very simple-minded man, which helps level out my ups and downs as an extreme person. And I feel like he's like we're a yin and a yang. Like, I bring him firecracker spice, and then he brings me the calm in my storm. You know,
excellent. Well, that's good. See, and you deserve that. You both deserve that.
Yep.
You know, you've worked really hard, and you deserve to at least have a break.
Yeah, and not only that, but it's like, I just want to be able to share my little wins every day with somebody. Like he shares, like he got promoted at work the other day. Yeah. You know, so like we're both moving forward in life. So it's cool to be able to experience that finally with somebody. So but I was also okay with not being able to do that right away. Mm-hmm. So you just have to, and I think, so along with never give up on yourself, I talk a lot, I'm sorry. I think people should live life without expectations. Mm-hmm. I think people, like if you literally wake up with 0 expectations, your whole day would be better. Because I even do it as a powerlifter. Like there was a day a month ago where I went into the gym and I was like, if I don't hit 330 for 3 on squats, I'm going to be pissed. Yeah. You know, that's an emotional lifter. And right. All powerlifters will tell you can't lift emotionally. No, it's just not good. You have to go in there with a balanced mindset. You know, don't lift emotionally. It's bad. And I had a bad day because I had those expectations. So, like I said, you can't go into tomorrow. Like, you can have a routine and know, like, hey, I got to be at my office at 7:30 because I have patients. That's obviously, right. They have expectations on me. I'm saying, like...
That's different, yeah.
You know, you can't have these expectations of when you're 26, you should have kids, or you should have a college degree to be successful, because that's horseshit too. It's you know, you don't need anything to be successful except passion, happiness, and drive and work ethic. Mm-hmm. You don't need to have a piece of paper to be successful. I needed it because being a doctor and a chiropractor, I have to have that. Right. But you don't, I mean, Gary Vaynerchuk, he didn't go to college. He got D's and F's all the time, but he's smart at what he does because he learned on his own what his passions were, and now he's killing it. Yeah. And that's awesome. So yeah, along with my advice on don't give up on yourself, don't set expectations on yourself. Just have goals and make them like super outlandish if you want to, but a little bit realistic in the end. And also set goals that you know that you can achieve over time, and just set them. But not expectations as far as timeline, because you never know when anything is going to happen. I didn't know moving in Florida within 8 months I was going to start planning opening my own practice. That's absolutely insane to me. Yeah. And that was a lot of stress. And that's a lot of change. So...
but you knew what you wanted to do.
But I was open-minded. Yeah. And like I said, I was just... Even my mom was like, Ashley, you're going to change jobs already? You've only been there for 8 months. And I'm like, Mom, my happiness matters more. I'm sorry. I'm not saying I'm going to quit and become, you know, a corner worker. It's not what I'm saying, you know. At least I'm still doing it in my own realm of work, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but I'm like, Mom, if I'm not happy and if I'm too stressed in my environment with bad stress... it's not going to grow me as a person. So my eternal optimist personality to my mom, who is more of a secured person, even though she owns her own business, mm-hmm. she still likes security a little bit. She just wants to see me. She just wanted to see me be stable. Yeah. Is what it comes down to. She's like, Jesus Christ, my daughter moved to Florida and she's already changing jobs already. That's my mom's mentality. Yeah. But it worked out in the end. But yeah, just... those expectations, if I had expectations like, Ashley, in 5 years, you're going to own your own practice. If I stuck to that, I wouldn't be here right now. You've probably been a little bit too stressed out and to try to figure out how to do it versus just following your passion and your dream and then actually doing it step by step. Yeah. So don't give up on yourself. Don't be afraid to ask for help, and don't set expectations for yourself, and always be open-minded. Yeah. That's my advice. That's good. Yeah. Okay, so where could people find you on social media? I'm really active on Instagram. Mm-hmm. It's dr.ashleyk on Instagram. On Facebook, I post some things there, but not too much. But it's Ashley Robel, Robel, on Facebook. I don't like Twitter, so I'm not on Twitter. I don't really even know how to use it that much. I only ever use it when I'm publishing that I'm going to drop a podcast about it, because it links to all of them. Right. But besides that, I don't use it either. And you can find me if you're in the Florida area at Champion Wellness Centers of Valrico. It's 4341 Lynx Paw Trail, Valrico, Florida, 33596. So it's about a 40-minute drive. It's like southeast of Tampa, in the Bay Area. So literally, like, if you know where St. Petersburg is, I'm like right across the bay on the other side.
Yeah, yeah, perfect.
That's pretty much where I am. But yeah, and so that's where you can find me.
Awesome. So if anybody wants to check her out, you can check her on Instagram. And she's very active on there as well. Like she was saying, very good motivational powerlifting videos. A lot of good stuff there. Your office is beautiful.
Thank you.
I'll put some pictures up as well because it's very nice. I walked in here and I felt very relaxed.
That's my goal. Like, I wanted to open this practice like where people walk in and they felt like they were at home. That's what I wanted.
Really, really relaxed. And, going to the different rooms with the nice, beautiful sayings and the little quotes and everything. Really, really well put together. You can tell you put a lot of passion into this.
Yeah, I like the sayings because affirmations and like seeing the same thing or saying the same thing over and over again. I'm a huge believer of law of attraction. So whatever you put out in the world, you're going to get back. Whatever is on your mind all the time, you're going to attract that, So that's why you have to start thinking in a different mindset. Because if you're always thinking negatively, you're going to have a lot of negative shit in your life.
Yeah, very true. Well, it's good. Well, thank you so much, Ashley, for taking the time to talk with me and
Thanks
everyone.
for driving out here,
Oh, of course, it's my pleasure. And everybody listening, thank you so much for also tuning in, and tune in next time for our next podcast. But for now, that is all. And have a good night.
Toodles.